Hey y'all, welcome back to Make It Dairy Free. I'm Larisha.
I am Andrew, and we are the tag team duo at makeitdairyfree.com.
And we're together today.
Yes.
Yes. And we are making vegan ice cream bread.
Yeah.
You just had to get that in there somewhere, right?
That's my thing. Okay, what do you want me to say?
Alright, so if you haven't seen it by now, Lizzo is now vegan. And she made a viral TikTok video that was called Vegan Ice Cream Bread. And we had never heard of ice cream bread.
Nope.
Had no idea what it was. So we thought that we would test it out based on some recipes that we saw on the internet that all were pretty much the same. And then, of course, Andrew had to one-up everybody and do his own thing.
We have two different ice cream brands today. We have Nadamu birthday cake brand, and we have Ben & Jerry's. Both of these brands are our favorite. The Ben & Jerry's one is an exclusive flavor, so you may not be able to find that everywhere. It is chocolate, salted, and swirled.
Yes, that's what it says.
I'm just trying to...
You're trying to read upside down, and it's like...
What we wanted to do was test out two different dairy-free brands. One, because we wanted to see if it would work with both of them. But two, we also read on, was it Tasty's website?
Yep.
That either low-fat or dairy-free ice cream wouldn't work at all. So... we know we gotta, prove that wrong for sure.
Yeah, we don't accept that answer.
Nah, not at all.
We can make anything vegan.
Damn right.
Why you got your apron on?
Cause I'm ready.
What you ready for?
What you mean? I'm ready to make. Why don't you have an apron on? Like, what's up?
I never wear my apron on.
Yeah, you tripping. Yeah, you guy always had an apron on. But either way, let's get into her baby bread.
Alright, so the first bread we did was one we saw on a majority of websites. You can use self-rising flour, or if you can't find it, you can do what we did here, which was mix a combination of all-purpose flour with baking powder and salt. Whisk that together, and then you are going to add in softened dairy-free ice cream. We are using Nadamu birthday cake, but any dairy-free ice cream will work. You can tell here that it's not super soft, and we agreed that we should have let it soften a bit more when we were making this. Mix that together until no flour remains, and if you wanted, you could add in extra vegan sprinkles, vegan chocolate chips, and more. Then it's time to get that in your pan. We always put down parchment paper to get things out easier, but that's totally optional. It's pretty sticky, but do your best to get it into one even layer, and then bake it until a toothpick comes out clean.
So after seeing Larisha's baby bread, wasn't planning to let that happen to me. So I upped the flour and started to wonder if the ice cream was gonna be enough wet ingredient. After adding all the dry stuff, that wasn't me. I got everything into the bowl and began mixing. It was coming together, but I noticed I may end up over mixing if I kept going. Over mixing typically makes your bread stiff. So I had to do something to make sure this wasn't gonna be like a rock hard bread. With a tablespoon at a time, I added some almond milk to help balance things out. The batter became easier to mix. Next, I dumped it into the pan and it was easy to spread it out. From here, right into the oven.
All right, so we just showed you guys how we made both of these, and now we wanna actually show you what it looks like on here.
Yep.
So this was the one that we made the traditional way that we saw pretty much all across the internet. He keeps calling it my baby bread, whatever. But you can tell like the actual difference, like it is much thinner. It did rise. You could tell, like we thought when we put it into the pan, we were like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be like this big.
Yeah.
So it did definitely rise.
Flatbread or something.
But it's really, really soft.
It is.
And you can see, I don't know how much you can see, but like the texture, it's kind of crumbly.
Maybe like break it apart. I'll show folks that way.
Like it's kind of crumbly.
Yeah.
But it's still, it is so soft. Yeah, like look, it like bounces back up.
Yeah. In my bread, we made a couple tweaks to the flour, and we added just a little bit more liquid to help balance out the dry and the wet ingredients. And as you can see, it made a world of a difference in terms of why are you looking at me like that?
Because you want to say like my bread's not baby bread.
I'm just look at your bread though.
Whatever, but yours is like just as soft too as this one.
Yeah, no, 100%. Nice and soft. Here's a piece that we kind of cut off, and as you can see, like super easy to kind of just flake, or break, I should say. Well, look at that. It's pretty crumbly, as you can see too. Kind of just falls off.
Yeah. Just one other thing that we wanted to mention is that we used baking powder and stop it. We used baking powder and all-purpose flour in our recipe.
Yeah.
Most of the recipes that we saw called for self-rising flour, but it is quarantine and we couldn't find that. So in the post, you can see directions for either using self-rising flour or how we described it in the video that we showed just a few minutes ago. All right, so do you want to taste it?
Yep.
All right, let's go. All right, I'm gonna cut a different piece.
We've heard that this doesn't have much flavor.
Right, like it just still tastes like bread. Like it's not, I don't know. You can kind of see, because this is the birthday cake one. I know you guys can't see it from here, but like you can see like the little actual like confetti.
What happened to my piece of confetti?
No, you had some. Turn it. See, like the yellow dots?
Okay, yeah.
All right, ready?
Yep.
All right, let's do it. It's chewy. So I immediately like get hints of, I can taste the birthday cake, but it's kind of like a really dense cake. No?
I don't know if I would say dense. Like to me, it still feels very aerated and fluffy, but it's chewy. Like I don't think it's very dense at all. Like this isn't like hard to bite through or anything.
No, yeah, that's not really what I meant. I just meant like, I guess the chewiness is just like, it feels heavier than like cake.
It's not cake though.
It's not cake, it's bread. I'm just
like
trying
just like
to
drawing
compare.
it. So I think in terms of a bread, I think it tastes very close to like a traditional like loaf of bread in terms of chewiness, not like a quick bread. So you can see like little dark bits of it. You see? Can you see that? Probably not.
I don't know.
I don't know. How can you see it? Right there. You can see like a little dark bit
There
of
you
it.
go. All right, ready?
Yeah. So ready. I would say the same, honestly. Like everything is just a hint of the flavor of ice cream.
Right. Like it's not very sweet. It's not very strong. You can tell that like there's like birthday cake in this. Like that's what it's supposed to be. You can tell that this is supposed to be chocolate, but it's not like scooping it out and like that sweetness that you get straight from like a spoon of ice cream. But I like that yours, like, I don't really think that there's much difference in like the texture or the moistness, but moistness. But you obviously get more from just like a couple of changes that we made.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Funny thing is that this has more liquid in it, and it still has the same amount of flavor.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it has more flour.
Yeah.
Still has the same amount of flavor, and you have more bread.
So I think that like one thing people might want to know is like when you would serve something like this.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you just want to test it out and you're having fun, you could serve it anytime.
All day.
But we were talking, and I think that like one idea that no matter like what type of party or holiday it is, this is kind of good for everybody because there's like always people there that they don't want something super sweet. that I think that this would appeal to, but also we were saying that instead of like biscuits for like a strawberry shortcake, that this would be good to like cut a slice and top with like vegan whipped topping and some strawberries or another fruit.
Agreed.
And it would just balance like a little bit more sweetness with a little bit more like not so sweet bread.
It does remind you a lot of like that biscuit texture.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because it is, I mean, you can see there's crumbles. You guys can't see, but we can. There's like crumbles like it's
flaky.
Back here.
Pretty flaky. Yeah. Recommendations probably to make this better. So first of all, I would recommend making this version of it rather than the quote unquote traditional version of it.
The baby bread.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, adding a little bit more flour in order to get it to a good size, a good edible size, especially if you have a family like we do. Added a little bit more milk just to help balance out obviously the wet and dry ingredients. But I would also probably just sweeten it a little bit more just so it could be more like a quick bread. I'm not sure how much more right now. What would you think?
I wouldn't say a lot because again, like I don't think it's supposed to be like overly sweet. But also like you could technically use like any type of sweetener. Like if you're buying like pints of ice cream like this, you're not worried about it being super healthy.
Yeah, for sure.
So you don't necessarily need to worry about like date syrup or something like that. But like maple syrup or something that would easily be able to pour and be able to stir in there, or agave.
For sure.
Yeah, but maybe just like
definitely
tablespoon or two.
I would definitely do a little bit more of a sweetener with it.
And we had also seen like you could totally like, add in some like vegan sprinkles or chocolate chips, just to make it a little bit more of your own thing.
Yeah, make this more look like a birthday cake or something, do something to this bad boy.
Yeah, because I mean, there's sprinkles in here, but it's not a ton. So like you could totally just...
They completely just like,
So do you think that you would make this again? Or is it just kind of like... Oh, we made it.
No, honestly, I wouldn't make this again. Like this, buying this pint of ice cream, the cost of it to make something like this, not a recommendation of mine.
Right. And even like our vegan ice cream that we make, it would definitely work in something like this. But again, like it's almost cost prohibitive. And honestly, I just like this on a spoon, straight into my mouth.
100%.
All right, so thank you guys so much for watching this video.
Yes.
If you do happen to make it because you are also curious like we were, then please make sure that you tag us on Instagram or Pinterest or Facebook, wherever you guys are at and sharing stuff. We would love to see it. And
Ben, Jerry, okay, holla at us, because this wasn't sponsored whatsoever, but
and Nadamu.
And Nadamu, holla at us too.
And Lizzo.
That rhymed. Did you hear that?
Nah, I didn't hear that.
I said Nadamu, holla at us too.
I love you. Bye guys, we'll see you next time.